Howdy, folks. High Value DMD. Don't just give me your subscription, but please let me earn it. Let me earn your like and let me earn your comment. So, picking up on the video that I have made previously, I've established that there's evil in the world, and we see it on full display. And you're not going to make evil go away. Okay? You're just not. You're not God. You can't control what other people do. And so a long time ago, I acknowledged this. Right before I turned 21 years old, in the state of Texas, that's when you can carry a firearm. Now there's constitutional carry. You don't have to have a license to carry a firearm. But right before I turned 21, I kept noticing school shootings, shootings on college campuses, shooting at high schools, shootings at movie theaters. Really, the mass shootings are what troubled my soul in a way to really reflect on what I can do, right? Because I'll just say, I like guns. I grew up with guns. The first time I shot a gun I was probably 4 years old. So I've always been familiar with guns. But I don't want to have to hurt somebody else. I've never actually even been in a fight myself. I don't want to have to hurt someone else. And so the act of carrying a weapon is you are carrying that weapon in case someone tries to hurt you or your family. And it was a very sobering decision to make, to carry a weapon, because there's a possibility you might have to take someone else's life. Rightfully so, justified. However, you're still going to have to live with the fact that you're going to have to draw the weapon to take someone else's life to protect your own and your family. That's something you just have to reflect upon and think about. And so I have been carrying a gun for a long time now. Very regularly, I've carried a gun. And the more that I see what is happening in our country and the violence that is on display, as I've said, this violence is not new. It is not abnormal, so to speak. I think that it is very normal for humans to react in such sinful ways, to strike out and lash out at their fellow citizens. So it's not abnormal. What you've seen with the shooting lately, what you've seen with the stabbing lately, that's not abnormal. And for some of you, that's going to be a red pill that you're going to have to swallow. That's a hard truth. You're going to have to accept that every time that you go outside of your home, there is somebody that seeks to do you harm, that seeks to take what you have, that is jealous of you, of the way you look, of what you're wearing. You have to accept that, and there's people that are so morally broken, that are morally bankrupt, that they have no reservations in hurting you. And we have seen that. We have seen that on display. I don't have to explain that, because all of you have seen that. So I will say, if you are a man in this country, in the United States, you are 18 years or older, you are legally able to have a weapon, to have a gun, a pistol, and in your state, hopefully you live in a free state. Hopefully you live in a constitutional carry state. If you don't, then you gotta wait till 21. But if you are a man in this country and especially, I'll say, if you have a wife, or if you have kids, or if you have a sister, or younger siblings, and you're in charge of anybody, I will almost say, and some people are gonna get a little bent out of shape about this. I'm going to say that if you are a man, trying to pick my words carefully, if you're a man with responsibility, with people under your care, if you do not carry a firearm every time you go out on your person, ready to go, you know how to use that weapon. If you do not carry a firearm, you are irresponsible, and you are doing a disservice to your family. You're not being a good leader of your family. I will say that. And of course, you're going to pick and really decide where is an appropriate place to carry a weapon. Oftentimes, if you really feel like you need a gun, you probably shouldn't be in that area. But there's people that have felt totally comfortable going to the movie theater, and then there's a wacko that comes in to hurt them. I know that individual that was on that subway felt totally comfortable minding her own business when a complete lunatic decided to stab her. So you can't really say, oh, well, this area is going to be fine. I don't need to have a gun. The truth is, you need to have a freaking gun, people. You need to have a gun. And I know that people in my family, a couple of people would scoff, especially, let's just say, like 10 years ago. People would scoff and say, oh, that's ridiculous that you would carry a gun. Why would you need to carry a gun? That's so stupid. What do you think people did back in the 1800s, man, when they're crossing the plains of the United States, when they're going out in the wilderness? For one, they're taking a gun for the wildlife, and for two, they're taking a gun because people want to take their stuff and hurt them and kill them. That has not changed. It has not changed, people. There are people that are indigent, that are impoverished, that are wanting to take from people that have the things. And there are people with mental illness. There are serial killers out there. There's all types of evil in this world, and you can't just laugh and scoff and say, oh, I don't need that. Pay attention to the news. Watch the news and tell me that you don't need a gun today. And you tell me that with a straight face, and let's have a conversation about that. Because I think if I were to poll about 9 out of 10 people on the street, I don't know, I'm just talking right now. If I were to poll people, they would say, you know what, I probably should be carrying a gun right now. And there are some really silly arguments being put out there of people saying, well, we just need to get rid of guns. Oh, we just need gun control. That's the solution. We need gun control. That's probably a whole separate video. But gun control is literally impossible. You're not going to take over 300-something million guns out of the hands of people in this country. For one, it's a right. It's protected by the Constitution. And for two, you're not going to tell me I can't have a gun. You're just not going to do that. Okay, until you can make people stop killing and stealing and raping, until you stop that behavior amongst all people for the end of time, you're not going to tell me I can't have a weapon. Especially now that I'm married. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. You're not going to take away people's right to protect themselves. It's not happening. And I question your leadership if you say, oh, we should just ban all the guns. I question your leadership, your decision making, because I don't know. I don't buy that. We're not doing that. If anything, and I'm glad about this, the United States is going completely in the opposite direction. More states have passed laws to openly carry a firearm, which I don't openly carry a firearm. I always conceal carry a firearm. There are more states passing constitutional carry where you don't have to have a permit to carry a weapon. There's no excuse. There's no excuse, people. And I get it. Like, you don't want to have to carry a gun. Like, I don't want to have to carry a pistol. And I alluded to that earlier. I don't want to do it. I don't want to have to put that on my belt and be aware of that at all times and and think that I don't want to have to go in a restaurant and have to sit down and be situationally aware of my surroundings. I don't want to have to do that. That's just the world that we live in. When I was in Yellowstone National Park, when we were going on these trails, I had situational awareness. If there was wildlife, if there was bears around me, I also had situational awareness of people, how they were acting around me, if they were too close to me while walking on a cliff trail or something. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you because you don't have a choice. In my opinion, you don't have a choice. You're irresponsible if you walk out of your home and you have a wife and small children and you don't carry a gun in this day and age. You're irresponsible. You're irresponsible. People have always, from the dawn of man, they have carried weapons when they leave their home. And they have weapons in their home. They take weapons outside of their home from the dawn of time. It just makes good sense to me. So with that, I will leave you. I hope I earned your subscription. I hope I earned your like. And I hope I earned your comment. Let me know what you think below. Until next time.